Welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue with your breaking news headlines this Thursday morning. A 14-year-old student opened fire at a Georgia high school, killing 4 people on Wednesday. Authorities saying students were sent scrambling for shelter in their classrooms and eventually the football stadium as officers swarmed the campus and parents raced to find out if their children were safe. Joining us live this morning to further discuss this tragic shooting that happened at Apalachee High School is Distinguished Lecturer of Homeland Security and Terrorism with the University of New Haven, Colt Gray. Ken, hello. Thank you so much for joining us to provide some perspective of this breaking news alert.
Good morning, Janae. Glad to be with you.
Glad to have you. So when this happened yesterday, I know a lot of people were at work. Some weren't able to turn on their television screens or even get those news alerts on their phones, but you could see parents flying down the street, racing to see if their babies were alive. For those that aren't familiar with what happened yesterday, could you catch us up, please?
Sure. So yesterday, there at Apalachee High School, the shooter, identified as 14-year-old Colt Gray, entered the school and shot 2 teachers and shot 2 classmates. This is and wounded another 9 students. So this is a tragic incident here, a tragic incident that is becoming all too familiar to hear about shootings like this. This investigation is going to continue over a couple of days. Gray was arrested and is being charged with murder in this case. And so since this is in a murder investigation, the police are doing interviews, collecting up evidence, taking photographs of the area. Gray's route through the school will be they will try to put together exactly where he was, how he went through the school, when he obtained the weapon, where he was going into, and all the details necessary to be able to prosecute him for this murder of these 4 individuals.
Ken, thank you so much for that detailed breakdown. A lot of questions this morning, and as you mentioned, the FBI, the GBI will be working around the clock for the next several weeks or even months to get those answers. One thing that stood out from that report we had off the top of the newscast was in May of last year, there was an anonymous tip that this 14-year-old, well, at the time he was 13, was potentially trying to do the same thing at another school. Talk about that process, because when these anonymous calls happen, is it as easy as just arresting that person without probable cause? What did happen and what more could have happened?
Yeah, the FBI has a national tips line that's run by the National Threat Operations Center. In May of 2023, they received an anonymous tip that somebody was on a gaming platform and was making threats against a school, but did not name the specific school, and drew pictures or had pictures of weapons that they showed on this gaming platform. The FBI conducted an investigation to try to identify the individual who the tips were about. That led them to the Jackson County, where Colt Gray, then 13 years old, was identified as a potential source of making those threats. He and his father were interviewed by the deputy sheriffs from Jackson County. His father claimed he did not have unsupervised access to his hunting weapons, and that the Colt Gray denied making those online threats. Nonetheless, there was insufficient information to charge him with anything at that time. And so information was passed along to the school system that he was potentially the source of this threat to a school. But that was a different county. That was Jackson County. The school that he was in now is Butler County, and it's not clear whether that information was passed to this second county or to the second school.
Ken, I can only imagine what the parents, the community members, even the students and faculty that attend Apalachee High School are thinking this morning. Let's put it into perspective and keep it real. They just started school. This is the beginning of the school year. And within days or even weeks, this tragedy happens. How do they press forward? Obviously, school will continue. We know visuals will happen, more updates, more press conferences, but the visuals that these students and teachers saw, they don't just go away overnight.
They don't. It's very, very difficult. In some cases, it affects generations of people who go to those schools. I'm thinking of here in Connecticut, Sandy Hook Elementary School is that just devastated the community there when that happened. Same thing in Florida. When a school shooting happens like this, it has a far greater impact on it than just the individuals who are shot and killed. It also affects all the other students, all the other faculty members, and the community in general. And that is going to be very true here about Apalachee School, is that these students will have this sticking in their minds for a lifetime.
Ken, you mentioned Sandy Hook, which did happen in your area, and you yourself are a father. You have children. I want to ask you, what is the strength that parents will have to convey, all while they're probably scared themselves, right? They're probably scared themselves to send their children back to school.
This is the worst nightmare of a parent, that they put their kid in school where they're supposed to be safe, and then somebody comes into that school. In this case, another student comes in that school with a weapon and starts killing other students, other faculty members there. And so this is a horrible situation, and it's very, very difficult for schools to deal with this. When you're dealing with, in this particular case, 1,900 students in this school. So you're talking about lots and lots of students in there with a lot of different things going on at the same time. How do you keep them safe? Metal detectors, searches of lockers, things like that, potentially. But this is not a school where you would expect this to happen. Same thing up here in Connecticut at Sandy Hook. Not a place where you expect this kind of thing to happen. So schools have school resource officers. In this case, the school resource officer was the one who stopped Colt Gray from doing further damage. He stopped him, he arrested him, and then now they are having to do the investigation and try to recover from this. But this should never have happened, and it's just the worst nightmare for students and for parents.
Ken Gray, we definitely appreciate your perspective and expertise on this topic. And, I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, so I'm very familiar with going through a school with metal detectors. And unfortunately, you can't please every parent. There were parents that were upset in Memphis saying, well, I don't want my child to feel like they're walking through a prison to get to school. But you see why it's necessary with those incidents that happened yesterday. And you would rather be safe than sorry. So thank you so much for joining us for this breaking news alert. Anything else you'd like to add on this topic?
This is something that's going to be here for a while. It's going to take days to weeks to do the entire investigation. A lot of people will have to be interviewed. And again, a lot of evidence is being collected. A lot of photographs are being taken. The school camera systems, all the video is being examined on that. So this is not something that is going to be over with today or tomorrow. It's going to take a while.
National security, terrorism, and homeland security expert Ken Gray, thank you so much for joining us for this breaking news alert.